Is there a light at the end of the chemo tunnel? Choo-choo! Why am I hearing bells? Ding-dong! What's happening with the pigeons? Woohoo! What? Come with me through the curtain of blurred colons and find out what's going on in my cancer chemo story. Welcome to the Tumotastic Video Diary number 37. Hi, Skatz here. I know who you are. It's Friday, August the 30th, and welcome to Video Diary number 37 on Still Alive, where we don't like to die before we die, right? Not good for you. Do yourself a favour. All right then, I'll kick you in the bollocks. So, cycle 4 has ended. Yay! And next week, cycle 5 begins, if my blood test results are good. Yay! When will it all end? It hurts. And that's the final one. Whoopee! Can't you just stop now, you bastard? It feels like I've been on this cycle track forever. You're telling me. Time is a weird thing, isn't it? I actually can't remember how it felt not to have cancer and not to be on chemo, for my hands not to be aching and my fingers not to be numb or tingling, to have loads of energy and be able to walk up even the first 100 meters of the mountain without my legs feeling weak, to be on stage singing and dancing, to be able to think about food without my stomach telling me, just to be normal. It all seems like a long, long way away through a hazy mist. Time and memory have been pushed aside by Freddy and the attack of the chemicals of war. I do not love the smell of napalm in the morning. Speaking of time changing, the soundtrack of the seasons has just changed here in the eastern mountains of Malaga province. Until last week it was cicadas day and night, that almost permanent metallic buzzing that you either find annoying or soothing. Personally, I love it. However, this week that's all but stopped. It's a temperature thing, I believe. And now what we have here is the occasional calls of pigeons, or I think doves maybe. Very similar noises they have. Hoo-hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo-hoo. It's quite nostalgic to me. It reminds me of being at my grandma and grandpa's bungalow in the 1970s and early 80s. They had a wood at the bottom of the cul-de-sac where I used to play, and the dominant bird calls were, I was told at the time, from wood pigeons. So the cooler days and nights have transformed the soundtrack of the mountains. Delightful. Delightful. Ponce. Liz and I have got plans for the final IV chemo day. We're having the dogs looked after and we're going to stay overnight the night before in a hotel in Malaga and enjoy a meal together. Chris is on holiday next week, deservedly so, but it's a shame he won't be able to witness the final onslaught and the ringing of the bell. Send not to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. Which reminds me, what do you think I should do or say as I'm ringing the last chemo bell? Tell me in the comments and I'll film it and put it on the next video. I was going to ask what food should I eat the night before, but I've already decided on that. There's a particular restaurant that Liz and I have been to before, and it was excellent. I'll tell you all about it next week. I think when you're ringing the bell, you should bow your head in guilt and shame. Speaking of food, and I usually do, I've had such a craving for curry recently. I've been adding spices to just about everything I've been cooking. Even if I have a burger, I've been rubbing in variations of curry spices. And on chicken wings to cook in the air fryer. Oh, they were spectacular. We even took a trip down the coast to Mum's Indian restaurant. That's what it's called. It's not my mum's restaurant. Anyway, we love their menu del dia. Only $12.50, and you get a starter, 3 small portions of different curries and either rice or a naan bread, and a little dessert. Delicious. Oh, very pleasant. I love having chilli thrown in my face. And there have been rumours that the owners are going to open a restaurant here in Compita. So I asked the waiter and he said yes, and it's going to happen in less than 15 days. OMG, I'm so happy. I think this will be the nearest I've ever lived to an Indian restaurant in my life. Oh, bloody hell. And now for some hairy news. After shaving part of my arm to make the ripping off of the needle tape from my arms easier when I have the blood tests or the IV, I got myself a new body hair trimmer. and did the whole arm just in case the nurse put it somewhere else, anywhere else, like last time up here. Ouchie. Then I did the other arm in case she couldn't find a vein anywhere on this side. Then I got a bit carried away. I thought, what the hell? And I did the whole lot. Well, except on top of the head. It's not meant for on top of the head. I've still got the head thing for that one. Anyway, turns out I'm even more pale than I thought I was. But now it is a lot easier to see my veins and the bruises they left by wiggling the needle about. You deserve it. Hey, Liz and I have been watching loads of a Channel 5 TV show called Surgeons, A Matter of Life and Death. It's real surgeries. The cameras show everything, all close up, and the surgeons do voiceovers and interviews in between, and you hear them explaining to the patients what has to be done and everything. Surgeons? Executioners more like. Now, bearing in mind I was advised not to watch anything stressful while I'm going through chemo, I was questioning whether I should be watching this kind of stuff. I mean, there are pros and cons. I'm hearing and seeing a lot of people facing the possibility of death on the table, or thinking about how short a time they'll have if they don't have a very dangerous operation. And these are all the most extreme operations, by the way. It's not just people having their tonsils out. It's usually involving some kind of vicious cancer that's invaded someone's brain or is wrapped around a major artery or their spine. So if the surgeon isn't extremely careful, it's brain damage, paralysis, or bleeding to death very quickly. That can be arranged. It's on the edge of your seat stuff. The positive thing is that so far on this show, every single patient miraculously survives, and even when an operation seems to be going wrong, it always works out fine. Unlike the Surgeons at the Edge of Life programme on another channel, where sometimes the patients end up dying a few months later, or there's some damage being done by the operation to leave them partially paralysed. That's more like it. So should I be watching it and encouraging myself to think about my own mortality or what could happen to me during my operation? I mean, my operation isn't going to be anywhere near as serious, but things can go wrong sometimes, so it's on the edge of my mind. And there's the thought that the cancer can come back even if they seem to get all of it out. All of those thoughts are up here, and I'm being reminded of them by watching this show. But I'm also reminded of the hope and the strength and the support on display and the skills of the surgeons. It's really amazing to watch. Some of you might be squeamish, but we love it. Sadists! That's supposed to be my job. We can also be just a little bit dark with our comments when we're watching the programme. We wondered whether there's ever going to be a show where it all goes horribly wrong and someone bursts their aorta and blood goes everywhere and the surgeons are left shocked and splattered. Are we sick or just imaginative? Sometimes you have to laugh at the very idea of something so awful. What? Liz actually said that if she's ever being filmed in that situation and that she doesn't survive, that I should make the TV company show it. I said, actually, I'd probably want to film it myself and put it on this channel. I'm not having Channel 5 getting all the views and the viral watches. Actually, I don't think YouTube would allow it though, would they? Spoil sports. Put it on the dark web. One more thing I've been thinking about, and if you didn't like the last bit, you really won't like this bit. Do I want to keep Freddie after the operation? Put him in a jar and maybe keep him on the bookshelf as a memento of this wonderful time I'm going through. What do you think? I'm going to ask the surgeon anyway, just to see what he or she says. And if they say yes, what do you think I should do with him? Where do you think would be a suitable place to display him? And should I bring out the jar when we have visitors, like people used to bring out photo albums? Any ideas? No? Just me then. What kind of sick people are you? La! On that note, that's all for this week. But next week, I'll be back, and I'm sure I'll have plenty more to talk about. Thank you so much for continuing to follow my story, sharing your own experiences, and sending those lovely messages of support, and also money to the GoFundMe campaign. Yes, you can still do that, you know, it's still going. Tune in next Friday for another thrilling episode of Help me. Keep your fingers and toes crossed, you lovely people, and as always, raise your drinking receptacles with me. The toast is still alive, but not for much longer. Let's do the still alive dance, shall we? You can't see the dark irony, can you?